good evening. This is my first video in English, so it will be maybe a bit difficult. I'm not used to it, and so I have some helps here and here. And here I have two Bibles, one in English and one in Romanian. I started to study the Bible in Romanian language a few months ago, I think. So now I want to start in English too. I wanted to start in English too from the first time, but I had no Bible in English, only on the phone or on... I have this Bible now. It was somewhere there, but I don't know, the translation is a bit a new international version. The King James version is a bit old in words. Not the translation. I don't understand it. It have an old dictionary. Yeah, let's start. I will try my best, and may God help me to can explain and to say the things that I want to. Do not I want to say something, but because of my language differences or because of something else, I don't know how to explain it in English. It's like I don't like to just to read from these files. This I like to talk with you, more fresh, more like yeah. Yeah, maybe I will read too. In this series of videos, I want to study the Bible. These videos are about this book, and not necessarily this version, but the book of the Bible. And this book, you all know that this book is not just a book, just useless book, or I don't know. It is the most popular, or from the most popular book from the world. Written in all languages, and people all over the world they read this book. And from all Christians are reading this book, or let's say all the Christianity is based on this book. And yeah, this is not just a book like the all other books. This is the Word of God. And how we know that? This book can totally change your life, your thinking, your personality, your view of this life, everything. And it is not in a bad way, it is in a good way. This is a guide from the humans in life. in this book, if you are reading it, if you are studying it, you'll see the light that will enlighten you. This book, the history of this book, not necessarily this version, was written by more than 40 writers on a period from about 1,600 years. Differences from the first or to the last, it's approximately the people who those 40 plus authors were connected somehow, even if they didn't know each other, and that is the miracle. People from even if they live in different culture, different times, they had different occupations, functions. Some of them were prophets, some of them were fishermen, some of them were monks, some of them were kings, some of them were, I don't know, lots of people. And the thing that connected them, what is it? How they were connected, and how the over 40, or let's say more than 40 authors were connected somehow, and all of them, they were reading one book, and this is the Bible. It was something that it was the Holy Spirit. Their words and their thinkings, their writings were not just writings from their minds, from their lives. Yeah, they were somehow, but it was something there. It was the Holy Spirit. So it came from God, in their hands, in their lives, in their understanding. So they gave it, they started to write, and we can see in all of these books the fingerprint of the God, of the Creator. If this book is the word of God, we will see that the word of God is not just a word without power. Let's start. I think you must have this book. You must read it if you want to know more about this life. And this is the most cool book from all over the world. I'm new on this, so I will look over a bit here. I will start with Genesis. So and I will continue until the end, and this will take about, if I post one video per day, it will take about 3 years continue to finish this book. So it will be, I think I will be able to talk in English more fluent and without files here, papers. God help me. May the God help me. Without the knowledge, wisdom and light that God will give it to me, I will try to go through this beautiful book together. Yeah, not just me. It's not just about me, about my story. Not about. It's about the book, about the Bible, and I will try to go through this book together and to discover, in fact, the answers from the basic questions in life. Who are we? Where we are? Why we exist? In which existence we are living? God. Is He real or not? And if so, who is this God? Yeah, this book is about knowing God too. Knowing His personality, knowing Him more and more. Everything from around, it was created, or it was like this from all the time. And even if it was created, because we can't explain that it was not created. The people are making things, the people are the science, the technology are they become better and better by day, so by year. So the world is in a continuously how to say changing. So we cannot believe that all this were from the beginning, from all the time, because we see in us, we are born, and after that we grow up, and after that we die. The countries, the population of the human were are growing in number. In 18th century, we were the people were just about 1 billion of people as number, and now we are 8 billions. So we cannot say that it was no start. Everything we know, everything we think like it was a start, and we see lots of things that it have a beginning and an end. We are born, we grow up, and then we die. So the trees are growing up, are a seed, and they grow up, and they are cut up. Or we see everything, even the mountains are formed, and then the rains, and they are falling, they are degrade. We are not living in a static life, static existence. Everything is changing, almost everything. So yeah, the first verse, I don't know if I will say the same things from the video from Romania. Until here I almost did it, but I will see, or we will see if now, this time, it will better or worse. But I will try my best, God help me. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Let's stop a bit and think. So it was a beginning. If everything has a start, what is the first start from the existence? Some people, they believe in that explosion, the Big Bang, so that have no answer. They just believe, oh, it was an explosion and everything appeared from nothing. They have no, you can't have proof of nothing. Or how to explain? So it was a beginning. Let's imagine that before the beginning it was a void, a total void of nothing. You can say here or there because there is no place or no object or nothing to say it, to report from that, how to say, you can say that. So where I am nowhere. In front of you, in the back of you, up, down, south, west, east, north, there is nothing to report, in Romania is a te raporta, to report it to that. There it was no space. Up, down, nothing. Inside, outside, nothing. Because there is nothing. More than that, you can say yesterday, today, or tomorrow. Because it's nothing. There is nothing to report it to. There is no action. There is nothing. Yesterday it was like today and it will be like tomorrow. So there is nothing. There is no time. It's a bit hard to explain that because we cannot. We barely try to imagine that. There is no time. There was no time because there was no action or no things. Nothing. It was a total void. So how we can explain that from nothing today, now, there are some things. I exist. We exist. These things exist. You exist. And there is space, lots of spaces, lots of objects. There is a time, yesterday, today, and tomorrow. We have a past, we have a present, and we will have a future. So how can we explain from nothing God, let's say, yeah, God created everything. It's not God created, but who is this God? So, if it was God, was it nothing? It's hard to explain. Or this nothing, it was God. can you say God is nothing? So, and nothing created everything. It's very hard to even imagine that. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the first, it says that God created the heavens and the earth. So maybe the heavens were created, and after that the earth. So about Genesis, I think is more about this earth, and this how we see the heavens. I don't know where they are, where it is, the heaven. But there is something too here. So was a God, or there is a God. Who is this God? Or what is this God? That he can make something. Is a thing that he can that can make something. God created. Wow. This story of nothing, of this total void, or this infinite void, it stopped. Because something appeared. And this is the most, I think this is the most beautiful thing ever happened. The most important thing ever happened. God created the heavens and the earth. It was nothing. But then God created. But who is this God? Who is this God in this in existence, with no time, with no space, places? Is God. In this void, or total void, or let's say was something too, without a start, and of course it will be without an end. It is God. God is over everything we know. So we must think, who is God? If we have a... Yeah, but is this God real? If not, how can we explain that everything appeared? So was something. Some of the people believe there was a kaboom, there was a Big Bang. No, it's more than that. There really was, and the kaboom from nothing. You can. There is no such thing. Oh, but maybe there was some gas, some acid, some whoa. So the people think that some people that to separate everything that God created in lines, gases, and then something appeared, and then it developed, and they believe in evolution from nothing to everything, but it's just a process, the evolution. It's just God's creation. They just confirm that something or somehow everything was created from nothing to everything. There is no explanation to not believe in God. There is no... You cannot be an atheist if you see this life. You cannot be, because there is no such place for you to be not a believer. Yeah, maybe you don't believe the book like it is. There is here is a different thing. You don't believe the Christianity. You don't believe the other religions. but you cannot believe that everything was created uh, somehow, and that nothing created everything. Everything was created from nothing, and that nothing was created everything. There was never a nothing. We are, if you think like that, you are in the wrong existence. Here God created everything. Here God is. That nothing, that you can say nothing, because God, He is everything. Nothing or everything, it fills all everything. So everything was nothing, or nothing was everything. But then that nothing, it was not nothing, it was God. It was something. There is an action. God created the heavens and the earth. Let's continue. Yeah, we know that God there is something that created, that have a capacity, ability to create from nothing everything. So that is the most, if you believe that, you don't need to believe more. Or if you believe that God created everything from nothing, and that belief is in you, you believe God, and you cannot say you are a believer, or how to say. You believe that God is a strong, a powerful. He can do everything He wants. He can create from nothing everything. So that is the most wow thing. This is the base thing to believe, and you cannot say I don't believe it. Imagine the God. How you think a force or a phenomenon or something, but you cannot avoid this. We call God. You call however you want, but or whatever you want, but you see the things from around you, and you cannot believe that with such, even if with microscope, even with, there is such a complex life, with wow, such a beautiful world, complete world. No. You cannot say that that thing that created is wow, is not wow. And more than that, we will see if God exists or not. And if so, if it exists, who is He? What is He? Is a he or a she? Or what is it? We will see that. Now the earth was a formless and empty. So it was an earth. God, there are some steps in which God created our world. The Genesis is more about our world. Yeah, it's a bit hard to say in English. World. There are some. You must have a sharp tongue to say it. Now the earth. Yeah, there is. was a formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. Yeah, there was no light, no color, no nothing. I even cannot imagine nothing. If you close your eyes, there is dark. You see dark. But how it is to have to be nothing? It is a white, or it is dark, or it is nothing. There is no such thing. When I imagined there was a void everywhere, we imagine like a space, like outside. When we look at the sky and we see dark with stars, but without stars, that is a space. But we see dark. How can we explain nothing? It have a color or not? It have no color. It's very difficult to. It have no smell. Very difficult to understand it. But when you sleep without dreams, where are you? Like a soul. You don't know nothing. You know nothing. You are. It's like you don't exist, but you exist. But it's a very. This life is very interesting because we sleep. So that sleep is. What if? I'm just asking a question with some. What if we live two lives? One life on the earth, and when we sleep without dreaming, we live in other world, in the heaven. I don't believe it. There is no such proof like that, and there is no. It just from my mind now it came. But it's a bit. It's a thing that. Yeah. But how, if that, so how we cannot connect those lives together? So we don't know. I don't know. I don't believe the Bible says nothing about it, so there is no proof that this exists. So yeah, I think it not exist. Because our body, our heart are beating up, our our how we say we breathe, but we are not conscious every time. So without conscience, we don't exist. It's very hard to understand. Okay. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Wow. So there is a place. There is God created a place. God created time. When God created a place, when God created an action, in the same time God created a time before it happened, the action, and after it, and the present. Now He creates. So if there is an action, and now if there is a time, because I think the things are together. There is an action with something. So there is an action that God created, the heavens and the earth. Now the earth was the earth. Darkness was over the surface of the deep. So there is a deep, there is a surface, and there is a color, or some, how can we say, a darkness. That void, is that void darkness, or like is it dark? Yeah, maybe we can say that, because dark is, if you close the light, you see nothing. So it's like darkness is, it have a connection with nothing. So the darkness is black. I don't know. Or what is black? What if it is white? Everything is white. And from the white you see nothing. In our perception, in our structure, in our how we are created, we cannot we see that the dark is black. It's or if we perceive the black like we have no recognition of that color, or there is no color, so we perceive with our eyes, in our mind, that is black. Or what if that black is nothing? I don't know. So was a deep. The earth was formless and empty. So the earth was not like a ball around a circle, or no. There was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Oh, there was water too. How it did happen? The water is a very hard to explain it. The water is in all liquids, but it have no, or I don't know. Does it have a structure? The clear water. They have nothing. A pure clear water. If you zoom in to it, I don't know if you can see something, because there is water, but it's very hard to make a clear water. Or I don't know, I'm not expert to this, maybe I'm wrong. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Wow. Another things, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. How He created, we don't know, but after that God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. What is this light? It's a thing that, a light that makes everything to see. You can see the things that exist. Wow. And we perceive that the light is in colors. God saw that the light was good. The light was good. And He separated the light from the darkness. Wow. Let's see that God... so God is not just a power, a force that, created everything. But the God, the Spirit of God. God have a spirit. that can move, was hovering over the waters. God remains everywhere and like that void without frontiers, without, God is here, there too. He's everywhere, everywhere and nowhere. No, God, he is still the same, but he can make himself into one place more than in other place. God, let's say God is here and God is there too, but God is here, there and there too, but God can be more here and less there with his presence. God, he is present everywhere, but he can make himself more or less to be present. So God have a presence. Let's say a target that he is somewhere more than everywhere. So that the God can move. God can talk, and God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And He's not just says what He says, it happens. So God saw that the light was good, and He separated the light from the darkness. Wow. So the darkness still exists, but He separated the light from the darkness. So it's very interesting. How can exist light and darkness too in the same thing? If there is light everywhere, there is no darkness. But God separated the light from the darkness. That is very interesting thing. God called the light day, and the darkness He called night. And there was, wow, well, let's stop a bit. Another action from the God was, God saw that the light was good. God is, if we will see if he's a person more or less, but he can talk. If he's a he or she or something, we will see that too. But it have a spirit. Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. God called the light day. God saw the light that the light was good. So God is looking at His creation, and He makes a I don't know the word. It's not come in my mind. He makes a certificate. He tests it, or how to say. God saw that the light was good. He gives a note of what He created, and He separated. We see that God is a He, and He separated It's about he, a he. The light from the darkness. God called the light day. Oh, God is more and more creative. God called the light day, so it gives a name to the light, day. And the darkness he called night. Wow, interesting. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. So God created that. How it happens, this we don't know, but it's all about the earth. It points to the earth. God created the heaven and the earth, and then it's all about the earth. The story is about the earth. Earth. How it happens? Because now we see that there are no stars, there is no sun, no moon. There is just the light and the darkness. But still something happened, that God separated the light from the darkness. So once appeared the light, and then disappeared, and appeared again the darkness. So how it happened that, and how the light was just in one place and the darkness in another place? How can exist those two things? God separated. The darkness from the light. So the light from the darkness. So maybe when he created that, or it created separated from the beginning, or God created like maybe let's think like there are photons or I don't know, some molecules of light and molecules of dark, and if it's a mix, is like a smoke, or I don't know. But God separated, or I don't know how you can make them two into one, if it is possible or not. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. The first day was without sun, without moon, without stars, with an earth, or the first was a formless and empty. We even don't know how it was the earth. It was like now a planet or not, I don't know. And God said, let there be an expanse between the waters, to separate water from water. Oh, an expanse. That expanse, I don't know what is it. So God made an expanse and separated the water under the expanse from the water above it. So even the water was down and up. And it was so. So God said, and then it happened. God called the expanse sky. And there was evening, and there was morning, the second day. God likes to call everything, to give a name to His creation. So maybe the water were just lines of atmosphere or something like that. So there is an atmosphere and then there is water down. And there was evening and there was morning the second day. We will see that atmosphere, it no longer exists, or I don't know, I don't think so. The flood, the great flood, it happened, and I don't know if it still exists or not, that expanse. Or maybe it is. It is an atmosphere, and it contains maybe some particles of water, but yeah, the water have particles too. But I don't know. And there was evening and there was morning, the second day. So in the first day God created God created everything in the first day. Yeah, because there was no other day. The heavens and the earth. Now the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the water. So yeah, you cannot say that this was not the first day, because it was. We don't know if there is no such things like hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, but we go from God perspective, or how we say, how to say, God created the time. So for Him the time has no power to say that God was not created everything in one day. God can create in 1 second, like in 1 billions of year, 1 billion of year. It's the same thing for Him. So yeah, it was the first day, because we have no clock. The clock is based on the sun moving around the earth, and the stars, the moon and the stars. So, and light, dark, and day, night, evening and morning. Well, the most important thing, that God created light the first day. In the second day, God created the sky, but I think the atmosphere, separated the waters. And God said, let the water under the sky be gathered to one place, and let dry ground appear. And it was so. So the earth was full of water in the first time. But God makes something. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters He called seas. And God saw that it was good. Well, God likes to create everything. At the second day, God called the expanse sky. There is no that proposition of to say God saw that it was good. I don't know. God called the dry ground land, and the gathered waters he called seas, and God saw that it was good. Wow. He gives a note to again. So God is not just something that he can create everything from nothing, but he have all the wisdom, everything, and he gives notes. It is good, it is bad, it is wow, 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 wow. So who is this God? It's very, very wow. And God said that it was good. Then God said, let the land produce vegetation, seed-bearing plants and trees on the land that bear fruit, with seed in it, according to their various kinds. And it was so. Wow, God creates more and more, is more and more creative. The land produced vegetation, plants bearing seed according to their kinds, and trees bearing fruit with seed in it according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning, the third day. Wow. God created plants, fruits, trees. God created the vegetation. The first living thing is that God created is the vegetation. Wow, interesting. And God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night. But why God created just stopped to work on that project of the light and the dark and started to make the vegetation? It's an interesting thing. I don't understand it. And now he come back to that project. And God said, let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years. And let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth. And it was so. Here to mark as signs, to mark seasons and days and years, and I think more. But it's the best thing to stop just here. No, to mark seasons and days and years, because there are some lots of that subject to read from the stars, but it's not from the God. It's just a bad thing, because the people can say everything, and yeah, you're just lies. There is no. Let them serve as signs to mark seasons and days and years. Yeah, you can look at the stars, and you can, if you understand, if you know the language of it, You can, if it's a clear sky, you can know, you can find out in which day you are because of the stars. The stars are not just some tiny lights. There are a time, the clock, the real clock from the world is the universe, uh, the stars moving around the sun, and the earth too, and the moon over the earth, to mark seasons and days and years. And let them be lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth. Wow. And it was so. God made two great lights from perspective of earth. The greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. So the greater light, it is greater because all the earth and not all, maybe, I don't know if all the stars, but our planet and another 9 or how many are moving around the sun. It is a greater light, the greater light. To govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. Yeah, it's a lesser because the sun are enlight the moon. He also made the stars. God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from the darkness. So God continued that project, and to be something, some object that can give light on the earth, and to separate the light from the darkness. That subject are God give that power to the earth, to the sun and the stars and the moon. Yeah. But yeah, the sun is the biggest, the greater, and then there is a light. And God saw that it was good, and there was evening, and there was morning, the fourth day. The fourth day is the day like we know, a day like we know, with the sun, with the moon, with stars, but not. We exist. We see animals too. We see lots of things too. So it's not yet. How it is now. And God said, "Let the water teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the expanse of the sky." So God created the great creatures of the sea, and every living and moving thing with which the water teems, according to their kinds, and every winged bird according to its kind. And God said, and God saw that it was good. So God create every that water to be filled with creatures. God is more and more creative day by day. And God create this the air with birds that can move there, that can fly. They can fly on the air. And God saw that it was good. And if when God create animals, they are not just plants. The plants have life in their in them. But animals have are more than just like plants. They have life. They not just life. They can move. They can walk. They can make sounds. They can uh, make their own child and more. Yeah, God created plants to with the seeds. Why? He created that? Because if you take a plant to grow up another and to be what God created, made just few plants, and then they made seeds and they were more and more and more. Or from the first time God created all the earth full of herbs. I don't know. Maybe it have one line of generation. How to say, of ancestor to each one. God created the great creatures of the sea. The great creatures of the sea, we don't see it anymore. Just the whales or just few of great animals. I think disappear a lot of them. We will see what will happen. God bless them. It's the first time that God blessed something. God blessed them. When He created everything until here, God didn't bless anything. By saying it. But by saying it, it is a blessing, or He created it, or the chapter it didn't say like that. Said no, yeah. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and increase in number, and fill the waters, water in the seas, and let the birds increase on the earth. And there was evening, and there was morning, the fifth day. So the first day God created the light, maybe everything but the light. The second day God created the sky, the atmosphere. The third day God created the vegetation. The fourth day God created the moon, the sun, and the stars. The fifth day God created birds and animals from the water, fish and yeah. And God said, let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds, livestock, creatures that move along the ground, and wild animals, each according to its kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all the creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. So how God create is very hard to understand. He see in his mind something and he said, let there be, because with their kinds. It's very hard to understand how God created everything. And how can we, the people, get inspirations lots of times? Only if God give us something that it is not based on what we know. It is based from God. And I was reading books and it gave me an inspiration. No. There is something that you are connected to God, and God give it to you in your mind. Things that not from other people or not from no. And I was asking myself from some people, how can you, or do you really have nothing in mind? You have no fingerprint? Or how can you say just to get inspiration from other people, or to... Where are you as a person? Do you have nothing in mind, or you must... it's not... volunteer or not, how to say, direct or indirect, we are get inspired by our life, by our, while we were reading, or what we know. So our structure, it has somehow it has some base, or something that it comes from to you. Maybe it's hard to accept that, but I think it's like that. Even if you are not agree, or I don't know, direct or indirect, how to say, it has something you are based on. Yeah, it can be God too, but yeah. Let's continue. each according to its kind. And it was so. God made the wild animals according to their kinds, the livestock according to their kinds, and all creatures that move along the ground according to their kinds. And God saw that it was good. The God said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground." Wow! At the first, there is something that, then God said, how God was talking, and it happened. Let there be light, and there was light. But God said, He was talking with who? With whom? So God can talk. There exists such thing that God can talk. It is that a need or not? Yeah, it is if we see that what He talks, it happens. But now we see something more different. Then God said, "Let us make man in our image." Wow! God is talking in at a person two, or no, not how to say. It's not me, is us. It's on the second person. How to say in English? God is a plural. God is more than just one person, because God said, "Let us make man in our image." Us and our. And God said, God is talking with Himself, but there is an us. There is an our. In our likeness. And let them rule over the fish of the sea. God is more than just one person. So how can we say that it's God, is a God, is one God? But still, it's more than just one person. Now we see that God, at the first we saw that God, there is something that God created, a creator. After that we saw the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God. God have a spirit. So God is a spirit, or have a spirit. And the Spirit of God was moving, hovering over the water. The waters. But now God said, "Let us in our yeah." God, even if He's one, is more than just one. Is two or three or more. We will see. But let's continue to see what He said more. Let us make man in our image. Wow. God wants to create something that He looks like Himself. But Himself is not one, as we see. In our likeness. And them rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air, over the livestock, over all the earth, and over all the creatures that move along the ground. Wow. So God want to make something like Him, but that is not Him. That can that to rule everything that He created. Not everything, but yeah, everything. To be like a tiny God, but not God, because God is just one. He cannot duplicate Himself, or if yeah, maybe He can, but He's the same. He is He. Maybe that's how He is not just one. Maybe He duplicated Himself and made Himself more than just one person. Or I don't know. I don't know. I know nothing. So if that's so, the existence, the time, and the things are not starting here at the beginning, at this beginning. He'd say God, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. Oh, we don't know. That beginning, we don't know where it is. Where, at which time, in which time. Or there is no timeline. So God created man in His own image, and overall the creatures that move along the ground. So God created man in His own image. In the image of God He created him. Wow. And He says something here. Man and female He created them. So if you want to look to be more like God, so God is more than just one person, so God created male and female. You alone, you are not totally like God. Just you with your wife. It's a thing that you can, that puts you in thinking. And just you with your wife to be together as one person. Only then, with the same thinking, with the same actions, only then you can say that you can be more, to look more like God. Male and female, He created them. And yeah, God is not male or female, but is more male, because we see after that God created first the man, and then He separated the man from, and the bone, give one bone from his chest and made the woman, and we will see that how He created that to be together from the same body. So there is no genetic in God to say there is He is a he or is a she, because He's God. There is no such. God created the genetics, female or male. God is way more than that. He's not. Yeah. And there are lots of things that have no genetic. You can say this pen is a male or a female pen. Yeah, we say if it's a or uh, universal. Yeah, let's say God is uh, from when how we read is a he, because a he we will see he created the man first, and the man he was a full man, but just after that God separated a bone from his chest and created a woman. So yeah, a man, he was a full person. We will see. God blessed them and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number. Fill the earth and subdue it. Rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and over every living creature that moves on the ground." Wow. God's created also our identity is not just is as a man, as a person, as a human is to rule over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air and over every living creature that moves on the ground. Yeah, there was no other people. So yeah, we are over the animals and plants and the earth, the ground, and we must take care of the whole planet, the whole creature of God, the whole creation, not the whole, the ground, and yeah, what is big part of the earth. Then God said, "I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food." So they can eat. They need it or if are they need to eat or not? They are in the need of eating. Yeah, they are. So they were not, or I don't know, infinite, powerful, without any, no. So God created us as a rulers, to rule over the earth. So if we start to think about it, we are made from earth, our body. So to rule over the earth is about to rule over your body, to rule over your conscience, over your personality. And that is what we must do. We cannot let the bad seed to grow in us. We must take care of our body, of our soul, of our actions, of our thinking, of our behavior, of our activity, of everything from which make part of us. Seed plant on the face of the whole earth and every tree that has fruit with seed in it. They will be yours for food. So the people we are as humans, are created as vegetarians, or maybe vegans, even make vegans. That's how God created us. But we will see what happened, or what will happen. And to all the beasts of the earth, and all the birds of the air, and all the creatures that move on the ground, everything that has the breath in life in it, I give every green plant for food. And it was so. So even animals, they were not carnivores. The carnivores are a bad thing. Yeah, they transformed themselves. It's very hard to understand that even animals can be wrong, can make good or wrong, because they have no conscience, but they still have something. So yeah, some of them became carnivores. And it was so. The fish, I don't know what they eat. Maybe it's same. What they were, what God gave them to eat. Well, we see, and I don't think they were carnivores either. They may eat algae, or something, seeds, but they eat each other now. They eat worms and yeah, I don't know how it happened, but maybe the worms, maybe all the insects were in a good in an order on the earth and in the water. We will see that what ruined the earth and everything, or what happened. Everything that has the breath of life in it, I give every plant for food. And it was so, wow. Did the insects have breath? I think, yeah. If you put an insect into a jar without water, no, without oxygen, it will die. So yeah, and closed, or hermetic closed, it will die. God saw all that He had made, and it was very good. Wow. So the most beautiful thing that He created was the last thing, and that was human. And the story of the human we will see in the chapter 2. How human became two from one. And male and female, we will see. God saw all that He had made. He looks at His work again and gives a note. And it was very good. When you make something and you are very enthusiastic, and you look at your work, and you give it a note. It was very good. You have a joy in yourself, right? If it was not very good because we don't make very good things, and that is a bad thing, because we know that is not the best. Or if we know that, that means that we know that can be better, and we know that it's missing something that we can do better. So we must do better until we can say it's perfect. I never made something that I could say it's perfect. There is no need, more or less. I was at a art school, but some things maybe they were not perfect, or some project or drawings. You cannot make it better or worse, because the subject is just it. Or from some other project subjects, yeah, you can make better. I was acting on portraits, drawing portraits, and yeah, there could be better and better. I never made something that I could say it's perfect. Or I made some drawings in old times that I was amazed, and I was happy. Wow! I was looking from the back and I said, wow, could be better, yeah, but some subject you can, if you do something in class, you ruin everything that you did. Or if you want to make it perfect, you must start over from the beginning. You cannot erase everything, because it will leave some traces. It's not very, yeah. Okay, what we can learn from this chapter, yeah, there is more. God saw all he had made, and it was very good. And there was evening, and then there was evening, and there was morning, the sixth day. Sixth day. Yeah. How? I don't know what I wanted to say. Yeah. Can this chapter answer all of our questions, or is just a start? Let's say, what if God exists, and what if what the book says is true? Let's take this line and continue more and more and more, because there are so many proofs that God exists, that after we read it and we study it, and we study our life, that are connected with this, we cannot say anymore that what if not. It's too big. What if to remain a place from what if not. to say in English the last the salute. May the God help me and enlighten me, or let's say, God, please enlighten me. Yeah, we will see in the next chapter. In Romanian language, maybe I made a video a bit with more, but now I will stop on this. It's just the beginning. In this book we will see about human nature, about God. We will understand Him and how He is, how He acts. And if God exists, we will see if in our life, if in our time, we see something more. We see something that we cannot explain without believing in God. Or, yeah. And if we believe, it's not just a belief. From me, it's not I believe in God. I know God. I don't know Him in person yet. I try to understand Him more and more, but I know that God exists, and all my life I am based on this, and for me there is no place that He is not exist. There is no such thing, because I was living with God all my life. I am living with God all my life. I am based on God all my life. And not just, wow, I believe. This is just the first step. You believe or not. But if you believe, you must grow up, grow up, grow up, grow up. Until you became God's own image. Until you became like God created us in the first. So yeah, we will see what will happen, or what happened, that we are here. Or was the man real like God? Even if few times at the beginning, we will see that too. Or if these words are still active until we will see what happen after we die, or after if there was a beginning of this earth, if it will be an end, and how it will be, and if it will be an end, it will be a real end, or it will be like a recycle, that the whole earth will be reborn again. Because what God creates, He don't want to create just today and then. No, He creates permanent. Even if we are we are being born, how to say, we were being born, and then we grow up, and then we will die, but our existence will not stop there, will never stop. because we will see in the next chapter, we have something in us that we have something from God, so that if He is infinite, we will be, but not just not like Him, never like Him. No one can be like Him, but we will be on a infinite plus, not infinite minus. We have a start point, but we will have no end point. Or we will have an end point, but no, we cannot have an end point, because we have a part from God in us. Yeah, it's very hard to understand that, but that is true. God could not created something like Him if He not give from Him something to us. We have a part of God in us, a tiny part, a wind, something. So we are His more and more than we can understand. Even if we have a part from God, we are not God. No, never. He is the God, but we have something from God. We will think in the next chapter. We will see in the next chapter, God helps me, or God made a God like me till the end. Amen. And there will be a never ending. Or let's say, okay, bye. We will see in the next chapter, in the chapter 2. Bye.